I was horrified. It's like, on what planet is this okay? Doesn't matter that we disagree. It doesn't matter that we're suing each other.
And welcome back to Square Off. That was Maricopa County Board Chair Kate Brophy-McGee expressing her horror at County Recorder Justin Heap's employees snatching a piece of county-owned election equipment out of the county's election headquarters. And it was all caught on video. A special prosecutor is investigating whether any crimes were committed. Oddly enough, it was Justin Heap who outed his own employees in a news release, claiming they were being persecuted by his enemies on the Maricopa County Board. Our politics panel steps in to make this make sense. Democratic consultant Don Penich of Agave Strategy and independent consultant Chuck Coughlin of High Ground Consulting. Welcome back to Square Off.
Thank you.
Such a joy.
Such a joy. We have been talking about Heap versus the county board on this show for 6 months, 9 months, a year.
Over a year.
And it just keeps escalating and escalating and escalating. Let's get to the big question first, because I think that's one people must be concerned with. These two sides have to work together in order to run a smooth election. Given everything we're seeing, and they'll be back in court on Monday again, do you think we're going to have an efficiently run primary election and then general?
I think the Board of Supervisors is fighting tooth and nail to make sure that happens. I think that's the most likely thing that's going to happen. But it's true, it doesn't help that Recorder Heap is a chaos agent who, at this point, you know, the headlines that should be coming out of an elections department and a county recorder at this point should be innovations in the technology and hiring up staff to make sure everything goes smoothly. Instead, we get constant headlines of scandal, not knowing the job, and now this, a heist within their own department.
Chuck, will we have a free and fair election?
I think they'll figure it out. I think they have to figure it out. And I think you have, as Don said, a Board of Supervisors that's committed, including very conservative members of the county board who are committed to getting this done. And unfortunately, Mr. Heap and his staff are caught up in this narrative of fraud, and they're trying to give light to that narrative, which we know is not shared broadly within the electorate, because we've been doing early voting since 1992 out here. And so, you know, it's a conspiracy narrative that feeds a portion of the Republican base that got him elected in the Republican primary.
And one of the reasons the two sides are back in court on Monday is that Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell says Justin Heap's lawyer is basically usurping her job by doing all of Justin Heap's legal work. They say it's an unprecedented power grab. This lawyer works for America First Legal, a law firm founded by the top domestic policy advisor to Donald Trump, Stephen Miller. This has set off alarms.
Yeah, and that lawyer, I think, is running for the legislature in this cycle,
yes,
in District 10, and he has an opponent out there who there's some difference there. And so it's fueling this conspiracy theory and fueling election fraud narratives for self-serving purposes in Republican primaries.
But is it also laying the groundwork for whatever bad might happen in the course of the election, a kind of an I told you so narrative?
Yeah, absolutely. That seems like the biggest goal, the end goal of all this, is to have a constant march, constant beat of questions and conspiracies staying alive until 2028, which of course, you know, is just a continuation of everything that we have seen from Trump and the other gentlemen involved in this.
Because what's interesting to me is there is a world where Justin Heap could have taken office and said, you know what, you, the county board, took away too many powers from the recorder's office, and I think I should have them back, and they could have worked it out, or maybe even gone to court and had some kind of resolution.
I think Galvin was trying to do that. When Galvin was chairman, he was negotiating in good faith with Mr. Heap to do that. But I think Heap's goal is to perpetuate conflict and to appear to be in conflict with the board, to create these fears and doubts.
Which kind of explains why he would tell on his own people in a press release before anybody even knew this had all happened.
Yeah.
This heist, snatching had happened 3 months ago.
But this was his own people who sounded the alarm. Career, knowledgeable elections folks who saw these gentlemen coming and going with equipment and said, hold on, this is not normal.
Okay, I'm saving the tape because you both say the elections are going to be just fine.
Okay.
All right? Okay. Look, that's what we all want.
Hoping and
That's what
praying.
we want, and we all want that to happen. So,
All right. Let's turn to the state budget. Arizona's Democratic governor is bragging about a tax-cutting, government-shrinking budget that copies a Republican president's plan and mimics his slogan. How pissed off are you as a Democrat?
Well,
Has Katie Hobbs been rolled by Republicans?
this is the Republicans' budget with some Democratic, confetti and glitter thrown on it for sure. But there are some real wins here. That tax break moratorium for data centers, that is a significant achievement. Keeping access whole, keeping the Department of Water Resources whole, free school lunches, there are some real progressive achievements in here. And that is why you actually see not just the governor, but a lot of Democrats celebrating. In Arizona, we pass a lot of budgets with only one side celebrating. So it is an accomplishment that both sides voted for this thing and are happy with major parts of it.
An accomplishment for sure. Is this more of an election year budget for Katie Hobbs?
Yeah,
Something she desperately needs?
Yeah, she chose not to continue the conflict and gave the Republican leadership, which I think got what they wanted, largely out of this. And so she chose not to have conflict and to get through this budget so she could focus on those priorities Dawn just talked about. Bob Robb wrote a column a couple weeks ago in his Substack, which is spot on. I'd encourage everybody to read it. What we're being denied is an opportunity to have a full discussion about what the state government's needs are. K through 12 funding, close to last in the country. Higher education budgets, including community colleges, not funded. You have safety net issues. You have health care subsidy issues. I mean, the state could come in and subsidize those Obamacare health tax breaks that were eliminated under the one big beautiful bill. There's all kinds of things. Technology. There's technology improvements that across the board are needed at the state level, which are millions, tens of millions of dollars. And we're not having that debate because she's choosing not to have a conflict right now, and I think depriving the electorate of a vigorous debate.
Instead, we've had $4 billion in lost state tax revenue and via tax cuts over the last, almost 4 years.
But as we know, in Arizona, being a governor in Arizona is you're blessed with a robust economy. And it always, with very few exceptions, it always gasses. And so, you don't have to go out and raise taxes, and you can still have more money in the budget to do the kind of things that Dawn just talked about.
All right, 4th year of the governor's budget, still no resolution, no extension of Prop 123. Is that a failure?
It is. I would say, unfortunately, education is one of the weakest areas to come out of this session and this administration. We haven't seen the ESA reforms, the private school voucher reforms. We haven't seen the critical funds of Prop 123 get negotiated, even though they keep coming up and then getting kicked, not just down the road, but now off the road. So that is definitely a weakness here that has to be addressed. Schools across the state cannot tolerate indecision anymore.
All right, and to be clear, the $300 million or so that Prop 123 provides is still flowing into the budget.
Yes.
But the prop
renewal
itself, the renewal has not happened, and there's an opportunity there to increase the amount and get this off the budget's books.
That's right.
They've backfilled that money with general fund tax dollars, and they're leaving $300 to $400 million sitting on the table that should be going into public education.
Right. Great discussion. Got to end it there. Chuck Coughlin, Dawn Penich, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And that's our show for this week. Thanks very much to all of our guests, and thank you so much for joining us. See you back here next weekend for another round of Square Off.